Okay, so real quick here, coming actually from my garage, spare refrigerator and everything. So that's a real scene for you, right? This is the Schwinn AD7. This is their version of the assault bike. Substantially more putting together time, and making some pieces fit was kind of aggravating. Anyways, much longer assembly time than the assault bike. I had the assault bike commercial downstairs, which we'll get to eventually. The straight up assault bike, the original, feels just like riding a bicycle, except for the arm part, of course. So if you want one that feels like the bike you grew up riding when you were 10 years old, if that's even a thing anymore, you're gonna like that one a lot. The seat's better, everything's better. This is the most, let's call it plastic feel to it. It is nice and shiny though, and it sounds good when you're riding it. It is much, much quieter than the assault bike. Assembly is 4 bolts for each set of legs. These handles, they go on. There is a bolt that goes, if you picture like a hand, right? So that sits on a peg that comes off of there, a bolt goes in the bottom, and that's what tightens it, right? Well, in shipping, sometimes those can get bumped around, they get dropped downstairs, your delivery driver sucks, whatever. So the one on the right there was already most of the way closed, so I could not get it physically onto it. If you run into that when you buy one, you can send it back and complain and fight returns and all that, or just take a flat tip screwdriver, put it into the hole, hit it with a hammer, it will open the hole up. If you have to, you can twist it to make the hole wider. That'll make it wide enough to get the arm on, and then just tighten your bolt down. It will scratch it up a little bit, but is that the worst? You're gonna put these things over the end anyways, whatever the foot pegs, those go over the end anyway, so you're not gonna see it. So it looks exactly the same, no difference. After you do that, 2 bolts, 1 big bolt through here. This is 2 bolts here. You gotta pull 2 wires out of the frame. If it falls into the frame, it is completely encapsulated like a tube. It is very hard to get them out. I have a pair of needle nose pliers that have a hook on the end. I was able to get a hold of it enough to get it where I could get it with just a little bit of my fingertip and pull it up. So, pain in the ass. Another thing that makes this maybe not as good, unless you need something quieter because your family's in the other room. A lot of this here, this is plastic. It's a covering, it doesn't do anything, but it is plastic. It's one more thing that can get broken by a wife, a kid, a dog, whatever, not paying attention. It's got a cup holder here, which is kind of nice. It's got a place to stick your phone, which is also kind of nice. The seat is adjustable forwards and backwards, which I just did. It goes up and down to get it a little bit better. The pedaling is smooth, so the arm movement is pretty smooth. It might even be smoother. You gotta make sure these are tight, by the way. It might even be slightly smoother than the assault bike. The display is much more robust than an assault bike. Not the commercial one, but the commercial one is almost $1,500 or $1,600. So you would expect a little bit more. I'll bring the camera over here in a minute, or I can just put a picture up. I mean, anybody can see that if you want. It'll tell you, it's got Tabatas built into it, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 30 seconds on, 90 seconds off. It's got some built-in push button things. I don't know why you can't just pedal. It seems like you're just adding stuff. 2 D-cell batteries go here. I prefer it just to be right off the power of me doing my thing. Hit the button. You don't even need a display, really. What are you looking at? You could just use your phone. It's perfectly fine for that. But if you need this as a way to motivate yourself that you're staring at it, so be it. Counts your RPMs, watts, all that stuff. It'll do your calories if you put in your everything. It'll do heart rate. So I can keep talking about that. There's more stuff here at the display than you need. That's the short version. So I'm going to let you hear what it sounds like pedaling, because that's really what I think this versus an assault bike is good for. If your wife's in the room across from you or something, or you're using your office And your family's in the living room, you want to disturb their movie because an assault bike is loud. It is very loud. So we'll just do some pedaling here. I don't have the height set quite right for me, so we're not going to go very fast. But we'll just do like 15 seconds here, just so you can hear it. I'll get going pretty good. I think you get the point. So much quieter than an assault bike. A little bit of noise. Hell, you could probably have a conversation over that if you wanted to. So the handles are pretty decent. So that's all I got to say about that. It rolls. They're small. Like these rollers, that's pretty small. Let me show you how much you have to tilt it to actually roll it. It's not too bad, right? But if you're not reasonably sized yourself, it's probably not going to work very well. You could tip it up by the ends and hold it and roll it pretty well. It's a little awkward to carry. It's fine. So I don't like the construction as much as the assault bike. It is substantially quieter, like half the sound, half the decibels. So if that is important to you, it's a pretty good option. All right, so here's the display. Start, stop, here's all your buttons. Do the zone, you have to put in your age and all that kind of stuff. And so you can get all these in here if you want. Some options up here, your displays, your RPMs and all that. But do you really need all that? I don't think you do. I think a simple timer, but you know, if you want it, it's there. It is a much more robust display than the basic assault bike.